Hello, my name is Hunter Perrin, and I'm a software engineer. And today I'm going to show you that email on your own domain is easy. You can get your own domain and get an email address that looks just like that. So why would you want your own domain? First, you can pick any username you want. So your own name, me, at, any username you want. You can also protect your addresses from vendor lock-in. So if the vendor you're on, if the email service provider you're on does something you don't like, changes a policy, anything like that, you can move your domain without losing any of your addresses. You keep your addresses forever when you own your own domain. Third is it looks professional. Using your own domain, especially for a business, but even for an individual, looks very professional. When you're giving out your email address, it's not like you're giving out like an @gmail.com or an @AOL.com address. It looks more professional to have your own domain name. And fourth, and this is the most important, you can choose your provider and thus choose the features that you want. So if a provider comes out, new provider shows up that has features that you really like, that you really want, you can switch your domain to them. It's really easy to switch a domain once you have one established. It's also really easy to set one up. In just 5 easy steps, I'm going to show you how to get your own domain and set up email on it. First step is buying a domain. You need to choose a registrar. For this demonstration, I'm going to show you Cloudflare. I really like Cloudflare. They're very easy to use. Their domains are very cheap. They don't have a markup on them. I have no affiliation with Cloudflare, so I'm just using them to demonstrate. There are a number of other registrars that you can choose from. You also need to choose an available domain. You can't buy a domain that's already registered. Well, sometimes domains can be for sale, but those are generally pretty expensive, so you probably want to buy one that has never been registered. Third, you should consider adding Whois privacy protection. Whois is a system that allows someone to query who owns a domain and information about them, and adding privacy protection means that the registrar will show their information rather than yours. So now I'm going to show you buying a domain through Cloudflare. I've already set up a Cloudflare account, so I'm going to, once I'm logged in, I'm going to click Add up here and then register a domain. And the domain name that I'm going to pick, and the TLDs will have different prices, so if you see the price on this, if it's too much for you, don't worry. There's other TLDs that are cheaper. TLD is the part that comes after the dot, like .com, .net, .org. And today I'm going to use .email, which is a fairly pricey one. Generally, they're less than $10. This one is fairly pricey. But I'm going to pick my own email. No, wait. My very own .email is what I'm going to pick. My very own .email. Let's see if it's still available. Yep, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase it, and going to use the card that's on file, and I'm going to complete my purchase. If you're brand new, you will have to fill out all this information yourself and put a card on file. It should be pretty easy. Even easier than ordering like food to your door. All right, so I now own my very own .email. So now I've gone back to my account home, and I'm going to search for email. Oh, I have starred filtered. All right, so this is my very own .email. So now I own it. The next step is to buy email hosting. You're going to choose a provider. For this demonstration, I'm going to choose Port87.com. Full disclosure, Port87.com is my own email service. I own it. I run it. It is free to use, but to sign up for custom domain support is $10 a month, and you get to onboard unlimited domains. It's extra if you want extra users, but you can put as many domains as you want on there. So make sure that your provider offers custom domain support, and also make sure that they offer DKIM and SPF support. I'll explain a little bit more about those later. So now I'm going to set up a new Port87 account. So you go to port87.com, click login, create an account. There we go, my very own. Password, I'm going to choose a very secure password. My very own 87. My very own 87. My very own. And then my recovery email, I'm going to put in my Gmail address and verify that I'm human, and we're going to create my account. There we go. I have a Port87 account. Now, to sign up, you go to Settings, Subscriptions, and choose this one right here, Domain Owner. I'm going to skip forward to after I've done that. All right, I've now subscribed as a domain owner, so our next step is to set up our DNS settings. This includes the MX records. That controls where email goes, and your MX records will point to your email services servers, and 3 TXT records, DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. Basically, DKIM allows a receiving server to verify that you are the actual person who sent an email to them and is using that address. SPF allows them, it's kind of similar to DKIM, but a slightly older system that allows them to verify that the sending server has the permission to send email for that domain. And then DMARC allows you to control what those servers do if they receive email that says it's from your domain, but it doesn't pass DKIM or SPF checks. And then also you might need to add any verification records for your email provider. And your provider will usually walk you through these steps, and Port87 does walk you through those steps. So back in Port87, I'm going to go to Settings and then Domains, and then click Add a New Domain. I'm just going to copy over my domain name there. And for this one, I'm going to choose Personal, and then click Add. Whether you choose personal or multi-user doesn't matter. You can convert between them, but it will change the addresses on your email. Converting to multi-user adds a username before all of your addresses, whereas personal, it's just the address. There is a step-by-step guide on how to add these entries, but I'm just going to show you how to do that. First one is your verification record. We're going to copy that content, and the type is TXT, the name is @ and the value is this right here. I click that button to copy it, so now we're going to go back into Cloudflare, and we're going to go to the DNS section. And then I'm going to add a new record, which is a TXT record, and that is our name. It comes from right there, the @ sign. And then I'm going to paste the content right there and hit save. Now we're going to do the same for all of the other records. These 3 records are MX records, and they have a priority as well. So we're going to copy those in along with that priority. You'll notice the first one has a priority of 10. The next 2 have a priority of 20. So we're going to add a new record as an MX record. The name is @ I copied the mail server, and priority is 10. The name being @ means it's your bare domain. If you have an optional subdomain, the name won't be an @ on all of these. It would include your subdomain. So let's go ahead and copy the second one and add that. Another MX record with a priority of 20 this time. And then the third MX record with, again, the priority of 20. Now we've got all our MX records, and we need to do these 3 security records. This one is the DKIM record. For this one, it is a type TXT, And the name is different on this one. It's not an @ sign. So we're going to paste that name in there and then paste the content and save. And then the next one, the name is @. So we're going to add a new record, type txt, name is @, paste the content in. We'll save that. And then last one, the name is not an @ sign, so this time we're copying the name, txt, paste the name, copy the content, paste the content, and we'll save. All right, all of our records are added now. So now we just need to wait for that DNS change to propagate. Since this is a brand new domain, the DNS changes should be immediate. But if you are migrating an existing domain, those DNS changes might actually take a little while. So after you wait just a few minutes usually, but sometimes up to a few hours, we're going to go ahead and click check status, and we can now see that all 3 of these are verified, which means we're done. That's set up. So now we need to set up our addresses. And with Port87, our addresses already work on a personal domain. On a multi-user domain, you'll pick your own username and create additional users if you're signed up to have additional users. And then each username, they will have the bare address format. So something like me@hparent.com, something like that. And the way Port87 works is when you email that one, it emails you back with a list of public labels. Every label in your account has its own address, and that's what you'll be giving out. On other email providers, you'll need to set up any addresses you use as both inbound and outbound addresses. When you set up an inbound address, sometimes you might set up a catch-all that's similar to how a personal domain works on Port87. And you'll also need to set up all of your sender addresses on that domain. So in Port87, all we need to do is create a new label. So I'm going to choose myveryown.email, and my label, I'm just going to call it me. And I want push notifications. I'm going to show them in the ag box. Your ag box is similar to an inbox, but because with Port87, all of your emails are already organized where they're supposed to go, there's no inbox where they sit waiting for you to move them to the right place. They're already in the right place. So you have an ag box, and you choose which labels get shown in that ag box. It's short for aggregation box. I'm also going to check if the sender is new, screen their emails until they pass a simple check to make sure they're human. And then I'm going to include this label in the list of addresses sent to people when they try to mail my bare address. And I can type in email me here. That's the description they'll see after that label in that auto reply. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I could also put maybe a label called like personal. So we'll create a label called personal. This one I'm just going to use for sorting. So I'm just going to save that and then move my me email underneath it. So now I have me. And I have it all set up the way I want, where it's going to screen emails, screen senders. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like to use this email address. I'm going to create a new email from my Yahoo account to me@myveryown.email. Give it the subject, hi. It's me. All right, I'm going to send this. And in a second here, I should get an email telling me that I need to prove that I'm human. Yep, there it is. All right. As soon as I click this email address, it should load the remote image in this email address, and the email will appear in my my label here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the email, and there it is. So now I've proven that I am a human by reading the email. There's also a link in case you want to, in case you're using an account that doesn't let you view remote images. So now I can see it, and I can see the auto reply that was sent. Hi, guywithcable@yahoo.com. This address has email screening enabled. Therefore, Port87 needs you to do a one-time verification that you are a real person. Blah, blah, blah. So that is the address myveryown.email. And when you sign up somewhere, so let's say you sign up at, I don't know, Netflix. You might get an email to Netflix at myveryown.email. You'll sign up with a non-existing label. So I'm just going to show you what that would look like by sending an email to Netflix at myveryown.email. Hi, new member, we'll call it. A fake welcome email. All right, I'm going to send that. And in a second here, you will notice now I have a Netflix label in my pending labels. So if I click on that, if I'm expecting an email from Netflix, I can click on that, and I see that it was created by someone emailing me to a label that didn't exist yet. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that because I was expecting it. You could also block it, block the label, and then it will no longer receive emails. So that is a personal domain. And then if you want to set it up as a multi-user domain, you would pick a username. I can choose hparent. And now those labels still exist, but they have a different address. Now this label has the address hparent-netflix at myveryown.email. And then this one has hparent-me at myveryown.email. And because I labeled this one as a public address, if I were to email hparent at myveryown.email, so let's say I shared that address online somewhere, and I'm going to send an email to hparent at myveryown.email. So in a second here, I should get back an email telling me to use one of the public labels. And I only have one public label on this account, so there it is. So now I have an email telling me to email hparent-me at myveryown.email. So now we've set up our addresses. And that's it. We're done. That's how easy it is to set up email on your own domain. So we can party. One more thing, I want to explain the benefits of Port87. As I've shown you, you have label-powered email. With multi-user addresses, you get your name - your label at yourdomain.com. That works just like an at port87.com address. And you also have personal, where it's your label at yourdomain.com. Everything that you email to that domain becomes a label. You can have screening on your labels. So, for example, if you want to give an email to your friends, your name - friends at yourdomain.com, just like I showed you, when they email that, they'll get an email back asking them to prove that they're a human. You can also publicly share your address. So with the multi-user address, your name at yourdomain.com, just like I showed you, doesn't actually accept email, but it auto-replies with a list of addresses that you could email. So you can put that address on forums online. You can put it in, like, on a business card. You can put it wherever. This helps protect you from phishing and spam. Because those publicly shared email addresses don't get email, anything you share publicly just won't get spam. And if you have for example, a label for your Netflix, and Netflix gets hacked and leaks your email, you can just change that label to like Netflix 2 and then block the Netflix label, and now you don't get that spam anymore. It also helps protect you against phishing, because if you get a bank email in, for example, your dry cleaners label, you're going to know that's not really a bank email. That was a fake email that's just trying to get your bank credentials. Now, Port87 does not currently have a native mobile app, but it does offer a progressive web app that you can install through your browser, Safari on iOS and Chrome on Android. And it also offers push notifications in your settings section. And I'm going to walk you through installing Port87 on both devices. And just to note, a native mobile app is on the way and will be available in the App Store and the Play Store soon. All right, so on iOS, what we're going to do is go into Safari, and we're going to go to mail.port87.com, which you can see I have open here, and then click the Share button and click on Add to Home Screen. Then click Add, and you're all done. There it is on your home screen, so let's go ahead and log in. Now we're logged in, and we can go to Settings, and then Notifications, and we'll click Enable Notifications. Then click Allow, and voila. Now we will get push notifications for any emails sent to any address that you've chosen to get push notifications. So for example, on my Me label here, I have set it to get notifications right here. So I will get push notifications when an email goes to that me at, or hparent-me at myveryown.email. And now I'm going to do the same, but on Android. You go to Chrome on Android and go to mail.port87.com. There we go. We're going to go into the menu and click Add to Home Screen and install. And now Port87 shows up on my home screen. We're going to click it and log in. And then we're going to go to Settings, Notifications, click Enable Notifications, and Allow. And there we go. Now we've got notifications on Android. And then one final note on if you're doing self-hosting for email. If you do decide to self-host your own email, know that it will be very difficult, but it is definitely doable. Email is one of the hardest things to self-host. You need to understand static IP addresses, IP blacklists, and IP reputation, including IP address warm-ups. A lot of ISPs will block outgoing connections on port 25 as well, which is the email port. No relation to Port87. But yeah, just know that if you are going to self-host. Thank you for watching. I am Hunter Perrin, and visit Port87. Give it a try. And if you would be so kind to like the video and share it with anyone that you think this could be helpful for. Thank you.